when you're behind a screen, it's not the same effect as being in person with someone. Yeah. Like you can feel it over COVID. Like doing Zoom calls is not the same as like talking to someone face to face, and like feeling their emotions is way different.
What do you think that is? Like, why do you think it's so much better? Because that's one thing that I was thinking about for this podcast too. I was like, I could do Zoom conversations with people, but there's something way better about doing it in person, even though it's much more of a pain in the ass, right? It takes a lot more coordinating and whatnot. It's just better. I don't know.
Totally.
And
I think like with a Zoom call, you get like the beginning and you get the end, and you only see like this frame of people, and there's a delay as well. Whereas in person, like you see all the micro movements. Yeah. And I think as humans, we've evolved to like sense someone's vibe based on these things that we're not even cognizant of, you know? So it's like an entirely different ballgame.
Also feels more intense, which I like. I don't say that in a bad way, but it's like
staring into your soul.
Yeah, there's more eye contact. Like during a FaceTime call, you can get up and walk out of the frame. Right. And it's like normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel my brain is like less attached to what's going on. Mm-hmm. Also, I feel a greater sense of distance. I guess maybe it's because of all the, I don't know, lower resolution or something. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but
because I know that you did a few meetups as well with like in Vienna. I remember you did something like, how does that feel going from the internet to physical spaces and stuff?
Honestly, well, this inspired me to do that more often because I think you're totally right. Like you meet these people and at first they're like, it's hilarious because I don't mean to say this condescendingly at all, but you meet these people and I don't know, you live in your little bubble. So like they go from being NPCs, you know, like people living their lives to these high resolution, like very individual people with their struggles and their own unique personalities, and they're doing like Vipassana retreats or taking these trips or whatever, doing their startups, and you're like, oh my God, there's such high resolution here, if that makes sense.
Totally.
I have not done it over the course of 2 weeks. I mean, I've done meetups where like 50 plus people will show up, and
that's overwhelming.
It's extremely overwhelming. But I think what's so cool, I don't know how you navigated this, but I don't like being the center. Like obviously everybody's there because I said like, hey, I'm going to be here. So that's the connecting point. Yeah. But I don't like being the center of everything. So when things break out into little groups and people are having their own conversations, it's so much better.
That's what I was doing during my meetups as well.
Yeah. I
was like, all right, everyone get in little groups and I'll ask you some questions to get to know each other. I feel like a camp counselor in that way.
You kind of have to. I mean, I like that you made the initiative, to make it happen. I feel like if you don't make a conscious effort to have these sort of like group gatherings or doing events and whatnot, it's very difficult for it to happen organically outside of like university, right? Or maybe work.
Totally.
And so I really connected with that. And I find myself during particular intervals where I'm feeling very lonely. I'm like, okay, yes, I'm feeling this way. And you don't have to run from that feeling. But sometimes it is as simple as like, can I just get out there and meet some people, and do something?
I think a lot of people feel that way, you know? I think the barrier to getting out and finding someone and finding a group is not as high as we'd imagine.
Yeah.